So find your spot, find your place. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale with a sigh. And finding yourself settling in your space. And perhaps you're not settling, perhaps a bit like me at the moment, you're just kind of drawing yourself into your space on your mat. Perhaps you've not been here for a while, so just getting used to the setup again and feeling the contact of yourself with the ground. And noticing if you can let go into the ground. And perhaps that encourages you to take an extra breath, to take an inhale and an exhale and allow yourself to land. With that, is there any letting go of any of the muscles, any of the lower body, legs, perhaps your ankles? And then begin to feel your posture. Anything that you need to adjust so that you can sit here and come fully into your practice this morning. And maybe if I just suggest a few things, it'll remind you, just lengthening your spine, lifting upwards. Lengthen the back of your neck. Maybe any stretches that come from there, just allow those to happen. Notice the area across the front, between your collarbones, so across the top of your chest, just underneath your throat. Notice if there's a way, maybe a breath that allows that to open. And notice just how much of that area can open. And as you've lengthened your back and opened the top of your chest, notice what happens to your arms. Any tension in your shoulders. Letting your hands just rest. And from there we can come towards the breath. Perhaps as you notice your breath, you want to do something with it. So allow that to happen. Perhaps you just take one deep breath in and out so that you reach a little bit more of the flow of the breath. And from there, inviting your breath to become a little deeper, a little slower, almost fuller. It's filling more of your lungs, it's expanding more of your diaphragm. And just being with that breath for a couple of minutes. allowing your breath to become more regular, less effortful. Notice if you've been able to draw your awareness more inside. Perhaps you're noticing things going on in the external, noises or people moving around. And do notice them. We need to be alert to what's going on outside. But then you can draw yourself back into your practice. Okay, so take your cushion away if you're using a cushion or a block. And you can always stretch your legs out if you wanted to. We're just going to do some movements of the spine. And so allow yourself to just drop back and curl your spine. So our back is rounded, chin down towards the chest. And then from there, just allowing yourself to hollow your back, look up towards the sky, lift your throat up. And then let's bring the breath in. So we can exhale as our lungs get smaller, we can exhale. And we're holding our knees with our hands, so we're supporting ourselves. And as always, moving gradually so you can gently warm up the body. And as you move through that movement, notice which part of your body wants it the most. And maybe it's an area that you just want to stay with, and just ignore my guidance and stay with it and bring your own breathing to that area. Allow yourself to roll a little bit back onto your seat bones. Your hands are supporting you, so that maybe there comes a little bit more of the movement into your lower back. And at some point, perhaps you can also feel the stretch in your arms, so they're bending, and then as you lean back, your arms are straighter. You're getting some stretch maybe through the shoulders and the front of the shoulders. Okay, and the next time that you're somewhere in the middle, just pausing there. And I want to come into a twist, so if you need to cross your legs in the opposite direction or stretch your legs out, just go ahead and do that. So bringing your right hand round behind you, left hand onto your knee, lifting yourself up. Inhale, and as you exhale, looking over your right shoulder, gently, because we're still warming up. And then just come out slightly, inhale, and as you exhale, moving again. Notice where you feel the stretch. We're going to inhale back to center. We're going to move round to the other side. So lengthen your spine, exhale, looking over your shoulder. And then release slightly. And exhale. Okay. And then moving around back to the front. Okay, so we're going to come up to standing. Rolling up to standing. And we'll do a little bit of what we call like a diagnostic. So we're going to roll down our spine and just feel in our spine. We'll work a lot with the back today. We'll feel in our spine just where we're feeling any tightness or tension. So feel your feet in the ground. Just give them a bit of a wriggle. So you've got contact with the feet, and then drop your chin onto your chest. Bend your knees. And just begin to roll forward so your upper body feels heavy, or it's guiding the movement. Knees are bent, and as you roll, your head comes forward, and that adds extra weight. And you let your arms go down towards the floor. And feel into your back. And then when your fingers are close to the floor, it might be that your fingers or your hands are on the floor, or you put your cushion underneath just to make it more comfortable. And see if you can let go with your head. Nod a yes and a no with your head. And then we're going to curl back up again. So almost like we're pressing the ground away with our feet. Knees are bent, and we start to stack the spine. Feeling any areas that want a little more time or a little more breath. And then as we come back up, like we're unfurling, like with that bud unfurling and lengthening all the way to the crown of our head. And let's just do that again. So bend your knees, drop your chin onto your chest. We're moving slowly, lots of deep, full breath. Bring that in wherever you can. And just enjoying the stretch of the spine in this position. And maybe your hands go slightly forward so that you can stretch out even more. Maybe it's in your armpits, maybe it's over the top of your neck. And then we're going to curl back up. Slowly back up. And this time we're going to bring our arms all the way up. Knees are still bent. And let's come up onto our toes. And then as we exhale, we're just going to thud with our heels on the ground and bend our knees. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, come up onto your tiptoes. Give your hands a shake. And exhale. Let your head go 1 more time. Inhale, reach up as high as you can. Exhale. Just landing your feet on the ground. Okay, and then just let your arms move like that. Okay. So whilst we're here, just step your feet slightly wider apart than hips. Bend your knees, and let's bring some twist into our spine. So moving the upper body, let your head follow round with your shoulders, and remember, just letting your hands, loose hands, fists just tap onto your kidneys or your lower back or your lumbar. So that area is getting a little stimulation and giving a bit more energy, loosening up the lumbar area. And notice if you can make that movement even bigger. Okay, and then let's do some warming up of the lung area and heart area. So we start to bring our hands just here in front of our collarbones, and then just gentle tap there. So working on our breathing and our lungs and our cardio area, and then let your arms rest down. So where I want to go to is the big physio ball in front of us. So we're going to inhale and imagine we've got that squashy ball here, and then we exhale and just close our hands just in front of our lower belly, and then we open, and there's a little bit of resistance in between our hands. So it's almost like we're feeling our whole energetic aura, if you like, our energy body. All those layers that are around our physical body. And we just start to stretch out a little bit more, opening the arms out just a little bit more. Maybe the arms go slightly back of center. And it's the breath that's guiding this movement. So almost like you're being breathed. And the hands can just lightly come back into the middle. And then we open even a little bit more, so the arms come straighter. Notice if your breath becomes deeper. Pressing away with your fingers. And then even wider so that your arms are coming out kind of almost up to your shoulders. Big physio ball. Okay, and we're going up even further out, so almost like we're a bit like we're doing the breath of joy, really. We're welcoming in some lovely new energy. And the breath, this is one inhale and one exhale. Okay, and then we're going to bring our arms all the way up overhead, and we're going to bring our fingers together and just pressing that air down through the center. And then we're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale up, exhale down. And the next time, just suggesting anything we want to invite into our energy field. Let's inviting that in, and anything, let's just pause here, anything we want to let go of from our energy field, we can just let it go away in towards the earth. Now let's do that one more time. Okay, and then just resting down, feel the energy of the movement. We're going to come back to that a little bit, the energy field. So just bringing your hands as though there's a tennis ball in between them. And just imagine just rolling the tennis ball right there in the middle. It's that point in the centre of your palm, the very healing, where your healing hand goes if you put it onto somebody. And just start to roll, and imagine you can feel the energy going from one hand to the other. I know when we've done this in pairs, then you can feel that usually in the other person. And then you could just start to turn that ball. And as you turn that ball, notice how you can also, your body starts to move with it. So your hands are attached to your shoulders to the spine. You're just moving that ball around like a slippery ball in your hands. Okay, and then we're going to make that ball a little bit bigger. So it's like we've got a beach ball in our hands. And almost like a dance with the beach ball, we're just rolling it around. And then we can start to roll from one side to the other. Just Just letting it go a bit freestyle, twisting. And then just imagine we've got that much bigger physio ball, like the one I've got here, just swirling around. And just notice how all of that movement attaches to your spine, to your back. So it's about as almost as wide as your arms can reach. That's the width. And at the same time, your knees are bending, you're just diving. Perhaps you're getting some twist here in your belly, in your abdomen as well. Okay, and it becomes a bit freestyle, and it's almost like you're listening into the energy of your body. Where does it want to move and stretch? Freestyle. Okay, then we're going to make that just a little bit smaller. Might like the beach ball. And then we're going to come in and just make that smaller and just have our hands one palm up and one palm down, and just let's hold that in front of our energy center here, lower belly. Okay, and then releasing your hands down, giving your fingers and wrists, elbows, shoulders, bit of a shake. Okay, so I want to do some more work in a forward bend. So take your feet slightly wider than your hips and bend your knees, and then we're going to roll down again. This time we're going to stay towards the floor. So if you need your block, just have your block handy. And bend your knees, and this time as your fingers touch the floor, let your head roll forwards. And let your knees stay bent, and just let your hands rest on the ground or on the block. And then let's just change the direction of the hands. So first of all, we're going to put them palm down, heel of your hand towards your own heel. And then the other way, so that the front of your hand comes towards me and the back of your hand rests on the floor, so your palms are up. So it would look a bit like this. So we're stretching out our wrists, and then just change just a couple of times in both directions. Okay, and then bring your hands palm down, fingers facing forward. Walk the heel of your hand as far back to the back of your mat as you can. And you might want to let your head roll forward. Notice where you feel that stretch. Maybe through the top of your back. Notice what your belly's doing. Is your belly holding on, or is it still allowing breath to move? Okay, then come onto your fingers, walk your hands forward, and we're going to come with our hands underneath our shoulders, flat on the floor or flat on the block. So see if you can press your hands towards the floor. You might need to bend your knees so you can get there. And as you're in that position, just bend and stretch your knees a couple of times. So opening out the back of your legs. Breathe in and exhale as you stretch. Breathe in and exhale as you stretch. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to keep our legs fairly straight. We're going to inhale and we're going to look up. So lifting our eyes up towards the front. You feel that in the top of your back, probably between your shoulder blades or even further up. And then release your head down and just let go. We're going to do that another two or three times. Inhale, and as you exhale, just looking up. Almost all you need to do is look up with your eyes. And then release your head down. Quite an intense stretch for the back of your neck. Inhale and look up. And exhale and roll with your head forward. Good. And rest there. So your head's rolled forward. And then step your toes and heels a bit wider apart. Okay, so just as much as you feel safe that you're not going to slide. And then what you can do is take hold of your elbows and just allow yourself again to roll forward. If you've got any blood pressure issues that's not medicated, then start to lift yourself up or just listen into what feels right for you. If you can do, letting your crown of your head roll towards the ground. And then just rock with your hands. Sorry, with your forearms. Just rock like a pendulum backwards and forwards. Good. And then let your hands come back to the ground. We're going to come into a twist again. So we're going to walk our hands around to our right ankle. Or it might be right shin if you need to come a little bit higher up. And that left hip presses back. So feeling the left hip press back. I'm going to inhale, I'm going to exhale round to the other side. Okay, so here the right hip presses back, stretching both legs just as much as you can. And then walking back around to the front. Let your head roll forward. Walk your feet and toes and heels slightly closer together. Bend your knees and then just rolling up. And pausing there. Step your feet together and pausing as you come back up from the inversion, letting all of your energy find its own balance again. Okay, so we're going to come into some balance postures, and we've done this a couple of times. So we're going to use the crow breath. So when we breathe out, we open our. So let me breathe in, and then like a roundness with our mouth, and we just breathe out long through our mouth. So first of all, we're going to come into a balance. So finding your spot straight ahead of you, take your weight onto your left foot and bringing your right knee, just lifting your right knee up and your legs at a right angle. Bring your arms out level with your shoulders, Balankonasana, and we're going to breathe here. So inhale and let's do 4 more breaths if we can. Great, we're going to let the arms float down, bring the leg down. Okay, feel how we adjust as we come out of the balance on one side, going to the other side, lengthening the back of your neck, lengthening upwards, lifting your left knee up, relaxing your shoulders down, and then inhale your arms up, inhale and exhale with a long, slow sound. Lovely, and then release your arms down. Bring your leg back down to the floor. Okay, And then let's make sure that we're stretching through the spine. So let's come into the stick pose. So come to the back of your mat. So we're getting a diagonal stretch all the way through the back of our spine from one leg to the opposite toe. So let's step our right foot forward and put the weight onto the front foot. Stretch your right arm up next to your ear and bring the weight onto your front foot. So you lift up onto the toes at the back. And maybe that's where you're going to stop today, if that feels like your stretch for today. If you want to continue, we're going to look for a horizontal line. So we're going to stretch out right fingers, left toes, and we're going to reach and keeping your right knee slightly bent, not locked, and just come up so that your hips don't lift too high, but your hips are square or on the same flat plane. We're looking down at the floor. Left hand is reaching down the left leg, and we're pointing the toes out at the back. So our neck will be in a straight line, also horizontal. Can you stay there for 2 more full deep breaths? And then we're going to slowly come out, bringing our back foot to the ground. Releasing our arm down and stepping back. Okay. And just notice how that stimulates the cardio, your breathing's a bit deeper, maybe your heartbeat's increased slightly. We're going to the other side. So we're stepping the front foot, the left foot forward. The left arm comes up by the ear. Take the weight onto the front leg. And then we start to point or stretch between the fingers and the toes. Looking for horizontal. Eyes down to the ground. And feel the stretch all the way through your back, through your spine. Two more full deep breaths in, coming out if you need to. Inhale, and as you exhale, slowly coming out. Stepping your foot back to the floor, arm comes down to the side. Stepping your left foot back. Close your eyes for a moment. Just notice the feel, taking the energy from that posture. Notice what it's brought to you. Okay, and then we're going to roll back down to the ground. So we're going to come into the child pose. Chin towards your chest. Bend your knees. Roll yourself down. And maybe with your knees open, maybe you're okay with your knees together, or knees apart, hips towards your heels, forehead towards the ground. In this case, arms down by your side. And we've done a bit of work with the back and twists and opening the spine. So here is also quite a lengthening stretch for the spine, but also a real posture of surrender, of just letting go of nothing really, just taking that moment to let the energy harmonize, just be in a place of nothingness. And just imagine if I was going to assist you with that stretch and just to help you go deeper, you might just feel my hands there on your sacrum, just one on either side. You might have experienced this. And I just press down a little bit of weight onto your sacrum, just opening the lower back. Just imagine you can feel that opening. Just deepening the stretch. And then the back and the hips find their own place to settle. So to lift yourself out, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, lifting yourself up. And we're going to stay on our knees for a moment. So coming up onto your knees, and a posture that we don't do all that often, the Camel Pose. So we're going to do a version of, bring your left hand just onto your lower back, stretch your right arm up next to your right ear, and just lean so the thighs stay where they are. They don't lean back, actually. So we're just, again, moving the upper body. So stretching your right arm up and then just leaning back, supported by that left hand. You could keep your eyes looking forward for a moment, and then if it feels good and your neck feels supported, just looking up towards the sky. One more full deep breath in. And then exhale, bringing your chin back to horizontal, bringing your arm down to the ground. Sorry, floating down to your side. Change arms, so your right hand comes behind you, the left arm reaches up. And inhale and exhale, just gently arching the back. Thighs stay strong and supportive, and then looking up towards the sky if that's open to you this morning. And then just moving your eyes to look forward will bring you back upright, your arm floats down. Let's try that with both hands behind our back, so we can put our palms towards our lower back, nice and supportive. And then just begin to arch. So like the shoulders blades come together, the elbows point backwards. Chin tucked towards your chest to start with. And then if it feels good, looking up towards the sky, letting your shoulders move back, not overstretching through your throat or your neck. You could always keep yourself looking forward and equally get an arch in your back. And then exhale, coming back up to vertical. Relax your arms down. Notice that your legs, thighs might have been working quite hard. Give your arms a shake out. And let's just round into a child, just to, with our arms forward, just to counter stretch. And then lifting back up. So coming down onto your belly, we're going to do some more work around the lumbar spine. So the Sphinx Pose is always good for that. So first of all, come lay on your front and just let your head turn to the side and rest there for a moment, letting go, feeling the ground, feeling maybe a gentle massage through your belly as your tummy's on the ground, your abdomen's on the ground. And see if you can let go. Can you let go through your shoulders, through your back? And then turn your chin into the middle. Bring your forearms on the ground. Spread your fingers out. Middle finger pointing forwards. And we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're just going to lift up and look forwards, about the width of a mat in front of us. Chin's tucked for now. And then breathe 2 deep breaths towards your lumbar spine, so towards the arch in your back. Notice if we can send some opening there, some stretch, some energy. And then exhaling back down, chin to the ground or nose to the ground. Inhale, and as you exhale, lifting again. Imagine the crown of your head lifting up towards the sky. And that's going to lengthen your spine. So imagine the spine's lengthening from the tailbone to the crown of your head. And what extra length can we find there in our whole body? Maybe you start to feel it here in your back. If that's too sensitive, then just come out of the posture and always listening. Don't go into any pain areas. Coming back to a place where you're just on the edge, really feeling the sensation, but not overstraining. Let's come back down to the ground, chin to the ground. Inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to lift up again, and this time with a little bit more suggestion that the shoulder blades move in the direction of the ankles. So that's going to help your upper back just to move in that direction. If you wanted to, you could look up with your eyes, not overstretching your throat. Can you take 3 breaths into this position? And on the next exhale, we can lower down to the ground, turn our head to the side, arms down to the side, and just pause there for a moment. And let's press up. I want to finish the postures with a twist, because we've been working a lot with the back, so we'll just do a good supine twist to release our back. So I want you to come lay on your back. And just let go again, there, just letting go, feeling the ground that's got you. And then taking your left foot onto the outside of your right thigh, and bring your arms out level with your shoulders, with your hand palms face down. Inhale, and as you exhale, you move that right knee towards the right hand, and then you do the scooch, lifting your right hip up. And with that, it's possible that both shoulders can stay on the ground. So our head, our eyes are still in the middle. We're just concentrating on our alignment in our shoulders. If it feels comfortable, you could stretch the back of your neck, you could lift your head up, and you could turn onto your left ear. And again, if it feels comfortable, you could bring your right hand and just rest that onto the top of the left knee. Just imagine if you could see yourself from above, there's a twist through your spine to the top of your shoulders. We're not overstretching, we're just listening in to what feels good, squeezing our nervous system through our spine, bringing us down to that place of deep relaxation. Perhaps you need to unwind slightly to take an inhale, and as you exhale, maybe going deeper into the posture. Notice where your left shoulder is and see if your shoulder can stay resting on the floor. You don't want it hanging up in midair. It wants to be supported. Just pause there. Let's pause here for a few breaths. On the next exhale, we're bringing our head back into the center, our arms back onto the ground, and we're going to roll that leg back into the middle. Okay, so just using the foot to bring us back onto the back of our hips. Stretch your legs out for a moment, give your legs a tap. Notice any difference between the one side and the other side. And then bending your right knee, Bring the left foot onto the outside of the left thigh, not on the knee itself, and roll. Roll towards the left. At that stage, just having to pick up your hip and move onto the side of your left hip with a scooch. So your shoulders again in the ground, palms down. And if it feels good, open for your neck, just turning, lifting your head, looking to the right, bringing the left hand on top of the knee for a deeper stretch if that feels safe for you this morning. And stay there for a moment, maybe 3 deep breaths in and out. And to come out, bring your hands on the floor, roll your head back into the center, roll your hips back into the center, and stretch out both of your legs, and notice what your body feels like it needs in this position. Okay. And then bending your knees, roll onto your side. I'm going to suggest for a relaxation, legs up the wall. You could also do legs onto a chair. So let me just demonstrate with a chair, just in case you don't have a wall that's available. So we would bring our back down onto the floor, twizzle around and bring our legs horizontal onto the seat of the chair, and our back is on the floor. So that's one option. If you want to do legs up the wall and you've got a convenient wall, come close to the wall, bend your knees, and just lowering yourself down. Make sure you've got mat underneath you, and swing your legs up the wall so that your legs are vertical and your back is flat against the floor. So in this position, butt close to the wall, and at some point as well, we're also going to bend our knees and bring our soles of our feet together. So I'll just show you that. But first of all, stretching the heels away, toes towards you. And if your legs are on the chair, and just feeling your legs flat on the chair, and in both of those positions, you'll feel a stretch right through your lower back, sacrum, very lowest part of your spine, maybe around your hip bones, and that's a very lengthening stretch. So breathe first into that area, just into your lower back, into your sacrum, and notice if you can let go of any holding, any tension there in that area. Notice if the stretch is too much. If the stretch is too much, bend your legs. Maybe come in and out of the bent legs and the stretch legs. Maybe your hands are on your lower belly and you can start to breathe deep breaths into your lower belly. And scanning through your body, notice if there's anywhere that's holding any tension, hands, eyes, jaw, buttocks, toes. Perhaps if your legs are against the wall and your toes were stretched, now just let your feet be relaxed. And if your legs are against the wall, maybe you want to try with bringing your soles of your feet together and opening your knees out wide so your legs come down towards you. You can do a gentle press on the insides of your thighs if that feels good. And pausing there. If your legs are on the chair, maybe you want to squeeze your knees in towards you. Or just stay in that position for another few moments. And then bring your knees in to the middle. Your legs are up the wall, knees into the middle, roll yourself over onto your side and pause there for a moment. If your legs are on the chair, squeeze your knees in and roll yourself over onto the side. Make sure you're on something comfortable. And then slowly bringing yourself up to sitting. Maybe keeping your focus inside for another moment. And bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Taking in your whole practice. And actually we'll just stay here for a moment. We've just come out of the legs up the wall, so we just want to make sure we're not rushing anywhere. Feeling your body and mind and spirit after your practice. Without any judgment. No good or bad. You didn't do good or bad. We just practiced. We've experienced. We moved the energy. And then bowing your head below your heart in a sign of gratitude to yourself. Perhaps as an intention from your practice, noticing if anything comes up for you. And exhaling, eyes and hands open. Joining our hands together in Namaste. The light in me honours the light in you. Namaste. Thank you.